Right, hello everyone. Welcome to Intro to Gav's Head Class. I'm a personal trainer, I've been for a few years now, and I specialise in working with people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and even higher than that. I'm 55 myself, so naturally prefer working with people around my own age. Now, today's class is going to basically be an introduction to what you can expect from one of my head classes, which I do both face-to-face and online. And I cover off flexibility, balance, strength, and aerobics. So all four bases to keep you nice, fit, and healthy. Now, the format of the class is there's a warm-up to begin with, so we mobilise all of your joints to prepare you for the class. The class itself is going to be just one round, and there are 10 different exercises. Again, it's a whole body workout, and it also incorporates some balance exercises as well. And then at the end, there's a cool down, which basically features a series of stretches, which is designed really just to bring your body back down to where it was before it started the class. And these types of stretches are great if you can incorporate them into your daily routines, because trust me, if you start your day with a set of stretches, your body is going to absolutely love you. Right, a little bit of housekeeping before we get going. Make sure you have plenty of water or some squash with you. As it is a head class, which means that you probably will work up a bit of a sweat, it's important that you have at least an hour before the class. My go-to for a bit of blood sugar is always something like a banana or a piece of fruit. But whatever you do, please make sure that you've done that. Otherwise, there is a potential for you feeling dizzy. If at any point during the class you do feel dizzy, then please just stop. Always safety first. Same thing goes for if you feel pain, any sharp pain, particularly in your knees and in your back. Again, another indicator, please just stop the class. Now, you should also be wearing some loose-fitting, comfortable clothing and make sure that your footwear is non-slip. Ideally, a pair of trainers, really anything that's got a good grip, because obviously we are going to be moving around. And again, it is always safety first. Now, what is coming your way in terms of exercise? Well, there are 10 exercises, and on the list today, we have press-ups, we have something called opening the gate, we have bicep curls, we have front raises and upright rows, a little bit of balance work through doing something called a hip abductor. Then there's a standing chest press, there are sit-down stand-ups, or alternative, those will be squats, figures of 8, and then stomach twists. Now, if all that sounds a bit like gobbledygook, don't worry, I'm about to give you a demonstration for each one of those. If you don't take it on board, do not worry, because I will do all the exercises during the class. So simply just follow me and what I do. Right, so before we get going on the warm-up, I'm going to give you that quick demonstration. Now, first on the list today are press-ups. And as you're, I'm going to just basically do the two easier options, which are more suitable for people that either haven't exercised in a while or even new to exercise. So, for the first one, a press up against the wall. You'll want to be standing at a good pace in front of the wall, and I want you to place your hands a bit wider than your shoulders against the wall. And then you're just going to push yourself in and push yourself back out. Your face does not need to touch the wall, you do not need to squash your nose against it. And as you just make sure that you keep your hands just a little bit wider than your shoulders, and that will be a nice comfortable position. So that's the kind of intro level. The next level up from that is against a sturdy kitchen counter or a sturdy table. Same thing. Hands a bit wider than shoulders, and straightforward, pressing in and out. If you are more advanced, there are versions that you do on the floor. If you're a regular gym goer, or you've done exercise a lot in the past, then you will know what those are. But for today, I just want you to focus on either the version against the wall or the version against the table or counter, which needs to be sturdy. Now, opening the gates is a body weight exercise, and it's relatively simple. You're standing on one spot, you're opening your leg out, you're stepping it back in, you're opening it back out, and you're stepping it back in. Now, again, I incorporate an awful lot of very practical exercises. Now for this, you're thinking, oh, what opening the gates for? Well, if you regularly get into and out of a car, well, then this is kind of mimicking what you normally do when you step sideways out of your car. After that, we're going to move on to using weights. Now, you're going to need dumbbells. If you haven't got dumbbells to hand, to get you started, 2 tins of food of equal weight or 2 small bottles of water will suffice. They'll give you a little bit of resistance. And once you've decided that you love doing gams class, please invest in a nice pair of dumbbells. Right, so first up, bicep curls. So bicep curls, you've got 2 options. First one is both arms together. Make sure to keep your elbows nice and stable by the sides of your body. You're folding your arms up and you're opening them right down. You'll find if you keep those elbows nice and stable, like they are literally pinned to your body, then you will find that your biceps do all the work. Now, if you want it a little bit easier, half the workload is simply just doing alternate arms. Again, keep that focus on your elbows. I want them to be nice and stable. I want your biceps to do all the work. And when you fold your arms down, again, I want you to go for that maximum range of movement. So there you go, that is bicep curls. After bicep curls, you've got front raises. So again, front raises are going to be with 2 dumbbells, knuckles pointing towards the ground to start with. The backs of your hands pointing away from you. You want your feet shoulder width apart. You want to think about your posture, be nice and upright. And you're simply going to raise your arm up so that your hand finishes at the same height as the tops of your shoulder. It doesn't need to go any higher than that. And again, the secret to this is good control, particularly on the way down. You may hear me say this time and time again, but gravity is your enemy. If you just let your arms just drop on the way down, you're missing out on 30% of the time at least. And we wouldn't want that, would we? Okay, so there you go, those are front raises. Now, still staying with both of these, we've got upright rows next. And upright rows are, it's particularly important for you to have good posture for these. So again, starting point, feet shoulder width apart. Make sure you're nice and upright, and you're going to push those shoulders back. Knuckles pointing towards the ground, backs of your hands pointing away from you. We're simply going to move those weights up to the midline, finishing right in front of your chest, lowering them back down. And again, on the lowering back down, nice control, please. Again, that word gravity. Don't let gravity do that part of the work for you. Okay, so you'll find your elbows naturally go out to the side. If you're not feeling this in the upper part of your back, well, the 2 main reasons are for this. 1, your posture needs to be better. And 2, maybe the weights aren't heavy enough for you. You might actually well be stronger than you think you are. Okay? So those are upright rows. Now, after that, next one up is a little bit of balance work. No weights required, but you will be standing on one leg. So you might actually have your dining chair next to you or be near the wall just in case you feel as though you might fall over. As always, safety first. So for hip abductors, basically you're standing one leg, moving the other leg out to the side. Now the key to this is to try and keep that foot that's moving, hovering off the ground at all times. Okay. And then after that, it's going to be the same thing on the other side. I want that chair next to you, just in case. Okay, so because your body is feeling a little bit unstable here, it's sending signals up to the brain. The brain does not like the body feeling unstable. So this is a way of preserving and preventing your risk of trips and falls. So like any other things, if you don't use your muscles and your joints, they start to become less effective, and so does your balance. So it's important to incorporate a bit of balance work at least twice a week in your exercise routine. So after our back, something called a standing chest press. For this, you're going to need a single dumbbell. You're going to hold it between the palms of your hands, and you're going to keep your fingers flared out. You're going to hold it right in front of your chest. Now, the key to this is squeezing inwards. When you squeeze inwards, you'll feel it in your pec muscles. So your pecs, your chest muscles will remain nicely engaged, and you're simply going to push your hands forward and bring them back. Now, this looks easy. Trust me, it's not quite so easy, particularly as you're trying to keep that bit of inward pressure the further it goes away from your body. I'll show you what this looks like from the side. So again, you're pushing your hands out, nice control, bringing them back in. If extending your arms fully feels too much for you at this stage, then just go out to a comfortable distance, and you can gradually work up over time to pushing your hands all the way out and bring them all the way back in. So that's standing chest press. Now, next up, if you've got a dining chair, there are sit down and stand ups, which is my preferred option. Slightly easier, slightly less intensive one is simply to do body weight squats. So for the perfect body weight squat, start by shaking your feet, arms slightly wider than your shoulders, and then your feet are pointing out slightly, because that helps you get lower as you squat down. When you squat down, please make sure that you're looking directly ahead, because that will naturally promote your back in a nice safe position. So arms out front, little counterbalance, you're looking ahead, you are squatting down. Now, if you've ever had any knee problems, then I suggest at the start with you basically just do almost like a semi-squat. Don't go down too far. Just listen to your body, and if it feels like your knees are okay, then you can go lower with it. If you're a regular exerciser, you've never experienced any problems, then by all means go down for a deeper squat from the off. But again, if at any point feel any sharp pain in your knees, please stop immediately. Take a little pause, and then maybe you can just try with a slightly shallower squat, see whether that, if it doesn't cure the problem, then please don't do it at all. Okay, so after that, the alternative, the full-on version, is sit down stand-ups. Now, I like these because it's a great compound exercise. You're using all of your lower body, which is always good, and at a tracking pace, you're going to be making that old heart punch. You're going to improve your aerobic capability enormously. So, sit down stand-ups. Now, again, another practical exercise. Think of the number of times you get in and out of the chair, in and out of bed, in and out of the clock at the same time. This lovely exercise is designed to make that and keep that as easy as possible. Plus, you probably end up working up a nice sweat as well. So that's the aerobic part. So there you go, sit down stand-ups. If you attend my online classes, please be aware to have a lying chair, because this is always a regular feature. Now, the last two are for your core. First up is figures of 8. I like this because one, it promotes strong shoulders, it promotes flexibility in your shoulders, and it also works your core, your abs in particular. And it's a core exercise that can be done standing up, which again is very handy if you find it not so easy to get up and down off the floor to do something like crunches or sit-ups. So here we go. Check your posture, have your feet shoulder width apart, be nice and upright, brace your hands out, arms out to get as long as possible. You are drawing large figures of 8. Keep them nice and round. And you'll be feeling this on your hand, and you'll be feeling this in your shoulders. Let me show you what this looks like from the front. So, arms out full. You are drawing nice big figures of 8. Well done. Now, if by keeping your arms out full, you think, oh, yeah, what are you doing? I can't do that, it's too hard. To make it a little bit easier, bring your hands a bit closer to your chest. And there you go. Still focusing on drawing nice big round figures of 8. And you'll find that that is a little bit easier. And over time, I will gently encourage you, motivate you, pushing those arms out so that they come fully stretched, and then you are doing the maximum one. So again, 1 for your shoulders, 1 for your core, 2 for the price of 1. What is not to love? Now, to finish off the round, one that is relatively simple, a little bit easier. So it's a stomach twist. So again, single weight. This time you're going to hold that weight, firmly both hands right in front of your tummy, and you are going to be twisting around to the side, nice and gentle. Now again, if you've had any back problems, just keep this movement as smooth as possible. Do not try and over-egg it. You're working your oblique muscles, which are relatively small anyway. And try and, if you can, isolate as much of the movement from your waist up. It is nigh on impossible to stop your legs from twisting a bit, but the more you can isolate it, then the more work your obliques will do. So there you go. Those are the 10 exercises on today's menu. Now, as I say, at any point, hydration is always important. Make sure you have a drink to hand at all times. If at any point during the class you feel thirsty, just stop what you're doing, go and take a drink. That is more important. Rejoin the class. When I run a full class, generally there are 4 of these rounds. There's a half-a-minute break at the end of each round, which is plenty of time to catch your breath and take on board some water. So, before we get going, I will do just that. Now, we've got 10 different exercises. Each one is done for 30 seconds and you get a 15-second break in between each one. As I say, today is an intro, so there is just one round, so you're going to be doing each of the exercises just the once, and then at the end we will have a nice stretch. So, I use a nice little trusty timer. You will hear a buzzer going off in the background, so it is done precisely. I will just double check there we are, 30 seconds, 15 seconds rest, 12, okay, so if you are ready, we're going to start in 5 seconds, and you're going to start with press-ups. Remember, you've got the two options for this one: press-ups against the wall, press-ups against the kitchen counter, or sturdy table. So, are you ready? Starting session. Let's do some work in 3, 2, 1, where we go. So, press-ups, hands a little bit on the outside, hands again, just a little bit wider than your shoulders. Remember, your face does not need to touch the wall or the counter. You just need to be comfortable with it, and by keeping your hands a bit wider than your shoulders, it will be a more comfortable movement. Now, for more advanced people, you can do 2 versions of press-ups, which are based on the floor. I will cover those off in the future class online. Well, down at the start. So, I'm going to turn it down to just a fraction. Okay, so now we've got opening the gate is the next one. So remember, you're stepping out to the side. In 3, 2, 1. So, you step out, and step back in. You step out, and you step back in. Now try and step upright, try and keep your upper body as stable as possible. It's just a fairly simple movement. But again, this is one of those ones which is very practical, if you're stepping in and out sideways. And that primarily is cardio. So again, I am all about maintaining independent living and making your life as easy as possible and getting you as fit as possible. So, right, same thing on the other side. Remember, you're just stepping out the other way. And again, just try and keep yourself as stable as possible. Now we're going to start that in 3, 2, 1. Where we go. So, opening the gate. Thanks. Now, another feature of my routines, I never give you the same routine twice. Well, that would be boring, but also your body does actually get used to patterns. And by keeping your body to guessing as what is coming next is a great way of making sure that your progression in your fitness happens faster. Often people don't get results at the gym because they do the same routine week in and week in, and it's the law of diminishing returns. There you go. That's how you open the gates. Time to hit the weights. Are you ready? We've got bicep curls coming up. Remember, you've got 2 options. The full-on one or alternating arms. Choice is yours. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. So, as I said before, I want you to focus on your elbows. Keep your elbows as stable as possible. If you want things that are just a little bit easier than alternating your arms, but again, still focusing on that big wide range of movement all the way up, all the way down, and keeping your elbows nice and stable, then you're making your lovely biceps of the work. So after this, we're staying with both dumbbells. We've got front raises coming up. There you go, there's the buzzer. That's 30 seconds work. So again, front raises, feet shoulder width apart. Again, check your posture, be nice and upright. Brace your hands, make sure your knuckles are pointing towards the ground, and you're all set to go. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. So as you raise your arms up, out in front of you, your hand comes up to the height of the tops of your shoulder. Again, try and keep your upper body as stable as possible. Don't just do a rocking motion, because the rocking motion gives a bit of momentum, and then the momentum actually takes away some of the work that your shoulders would be doing otherwise. So focus on keeping your upper body stable. As you get more advanced, you can do these a little faster. But for today, just practice on 4. There you go. That's your front raises done. Next up, still staying with 2 dumbbells. Upright rows. Again, posture, very important. Be upright. Push those shoulders back. Knuckles pointing towards the ground. And you're ready in 3, 2, 1. So bring those weights up through the middle. Carefully back down to the starting position. And again, you should be feeling this in the upper part of your back. If you're not, it's more likely to do with your posture. So just check it. You set yourself to start again, or maybe your weights aren't quite heavy enough. So maybe next time around, think about trading up to the next level. So again, this one is all about technique. Well done. That's those out of the way. So after upright rows, we are now moving on to a little bit of balance work. Again, if you do balance work, make sure that you've got something to use for stability just in case. You can move your leg out to the side in 3, 2, 1. So again, try and keep the foot that's moving hovering off the ground at all times. And so you are working on your hip abductors, so you are exercising muscles. But because your body and your brain in particular is thinking, okay, it doesn't feel quite as stable as it normally does, it is reminding your body and your brain in particular that it needs all those pathways to stop and reduce the risks of trips and falls. There you go, that's that side done. So, same thing, other side. So, again, make sure you have something maybe to reach onto just in case. Safety forwards first. Same thing for the other side, starting in 3, 2, 1. So here we go. So, legs coming out the side. It doesn't actually have to go out particularly high, just go out as comfortable as you possibly can. The important part is to try and keep the foot hovering off the ground. And again, trying to be as stable on the upper part of your body. But you know, don't worry if you wobble a little bit. Again, that just starts sending those signals up to your brain that it needs to get its act together for your balance capabilities. Good, there you go. Okay, so I've got standing chest press. So, single dumbbell held between the palms of your hands. Keep those fingers flared out. Press inwards and you're good to go. 3, 2, 1. So, pushing away from your body. You're bringing it carefully back in. And I'll again just show you what this looks like from the side. So, hands out. Remember that inward pressure is everything that keeps your pecs engaged. If you're struggling to get it out all the way, you're halfway there. You know? Fitness is a journey. I don't mind at what point you are starting on. So the important part is that we progress as the weeks go by. Okay, well done. So after that, down, you've got the choice of squats. Remember, feet a bit wide in the shoulders, pointing out slightly, arms out to counterbalance, looking ahead as you squat down. Otherwise, you're doing sit down, stand up. 3, 2, 1. My favourite. So think about it. Your calves, your quads, your hamstrings, your glutes. There's a little bit of core work going on here, and if you're going at a reasonable cracking pace, if you're using your arms to bring it up, well, right for aerobic capability as well. So, the opposite of my class is to leave you slightly out of breath and a little bit sweaty. And we might not achieve that in one round. But trust me, come to my full class, full rounds, and I promise to hold you to that point. Okay, we've now got 2 just left to do. Figures of 8 next. So again, single dumbbell, 1 for your posture. Feet shoulder width apart, abs tight, be nice and upright, arms out long. And here we go. Nice, big, large figures of 8. As I said, you can bring those hands in a little bit closer. That will make it feel a little bit easier. But come on. I prefer the version that is with your arms fully outstretched. And again, just focus on those nice big wide figures of 8. You're feeling it in your hands, and you are getting that nice range of movement in your lovely shoulders. Well done. So we are nearly there. The first round of my intro is almost done. So to finish off with stomach twist, single weight, held firmly in front, and you're twisting to the side, starting in 3, 2, 1. So here we go. So again, if you have any back problems, keep this movement fairly restricted and nice and gentle. You don't want any jerky movements when it comes to the spine. But you are working your obliques, and they're relatively small muscles, so it is really just naturally a very small range of movement anyway. And as I said before, try and isolate the movement as much as possible from the waist up. So there we go, last few seconds. 3, 2, 1. Well done. So that is part 2 of my intro. So grab a little drink and then we'll run through the stretches. As I mentioned right at the very start, it is very important after working out to stretch out, one, because that reduces muscle soreness, something called delayed onset muscle soreness, which generally visits you about 2 days after the event. So if you've done this class and ache in 2 days and my ears are burning, I'll know why. But calming down and stretching, lowering the heart rate is very important. So if you're ready, the first of these stretches is simply fold your arm across the front of the body with the other hand pulling in nice and tightly and holding that position for 10 seconds. 10 to 15 seconds is ideal for a stretch at the end. And again, these types of stretches are a great way to start your day. So when you spring out of bed in the morning, you start to get on before you jump in the shower. If you start to do some stretches on a daily basis, you will notice within a relatively short space of time just what the difference it makes to your body. So same thing outside, hold your arm across the front of your body, with the other hand pulling it in, holding it nice and tight, and again holding for 10. So this is stretching out your shoulders. Shoulders do quite a bit of work there. Nicely done, and just 10 seconds worth. So next up, I want you to place your hand on the back of your shoulder. With the other hand, you're going to push, but most people prefer to pull on their elbow. You're stretching out the backs of your arms, which are your triceps. So all those lovely press-ups you've just done, and that standing chest press, now stretching out muscles that we'll use in those two exercises. And again, it's held for 10 seconds. There we go. All right, so same thing on the other side, hand behind the back of your shoulder. Push or pull on your elbow. And again, you're going to be holding it for 10. Then after this one, we're going to be stretching out your chest. So, for your chest, I want you to place both hands on the base of your back. Now, then just push your shoulders back. Now, I like this one. This is as well as stretching out your chest. This is, I find it personally quite comforting on my lower back, as I'm often in my car, and that tends to give me a little bit of backache. So again, holding that for 10 seconds. Nicely done. Next up, we're going to stretch up your upper back. So for this, I want you to bring both arms together to the front. I want you to link your hands together. Drop your head and shoulders forward. Now push your hands away from your body. And now that you're in that position again, holding that for 10 seconds. So you can feel that again in your shoulders, but your upper back. That's your trapezius muscle, which is a big kite-shaped muscle. So it's a great stretch for that. Cool. Next up, we're going to stretch out your obliques. So for that, again, just make sure starting point, feet shoulder width apart, hand up nice and high, right above your head, lean across to the other side. Feel that lovely big stretch all the way down your side. And again, hold it for 10. This is another one of my favourites, particularly after a long car journey. Okay. Not surprisingly, you're going to do the same thing on the other side, so hand up nice and high, right above your head. Lean across, feel that lovely big stretch, and then hold it for 10. Good. Right, now, next, you may need a chair for the next one. We're going to be stretching out your thighs or your quads. So, you can use this stretch to also practice your balance. I want you to hold your foot in your hand. I want you to pull the foot tightly in towards your body, using your bum. If you want to practice your powers of balance, you can do so by putting your arm out and standing on one leg. Again, balance work is very important and should be done at least twice a week. Although there's no set time recommended, 10 to 15 minutes twice a week, I think would be a big tick in the box for you. Okay, there you go. If you want a slightly extra stretch, you can hold that foot just a little bit tighter after halfway through. So, same thing other side. Holding your foot in your hand, pulling it in nice and tightly if you want to. Test your powers of balance. And again, if you want a little bit of extra stretch, just hold that foot just a little bit tighter, put it in. And again, it's for 10 seconds. Well done. Now, if you do have a chair, I'm going to give you one extra stretch. That is particularly good for your lower back and also the side of your hips. And again, if you ever suffer from something like sciatica, and I have, this is my go-to for pain relief. I'd rather have this stretch than hit the ibuprofen. Okay, so in a seated position, I want you to cross one leg over the other. With the other arm, I want you to place a little bit of pressure body weight. I want you to try and keep your head looking slightly up, and then I want you just to press yourself forward and hold that position. Now, I'd say this is not a comfortable position, and you will feel that stretch, particularly on the outside of your bum and also on your lower back. And again, after 10 seconds for this one, if you feel that tension easing a little bit, press yourself just a little bit further forward and hold it for another 10. Again, making sure you can just slightly ahead, don't look down on the floor. And just hold it. And then you can relax there. So, same thing on the other side. So cross one leg over the other. With this arm, you're going to place some of your body weight onto this knee. Then, making sure that your head is reasonably held up high, I want you to lean into and forward, and then holding it for 10 seconds. And then again, focus on where you can feel that tension. It will be on the outside of your thigh, top half of your bum, and then your lower back. And after 10 seconds, if you can, just press a little bit further forward, and holding it for a set of another 10 seconds. Well done. As I say, if you have had a history of back problems, it is always worthwhile speaking before starting any form structured exercise and classes such as the ones I'm in today. So to finish off, you can stretch your hamstrings. Just one more to do. And for your hamstrings, legs straight out in front of you, the one behind you going to bend slightly. And now I want you to reach forward. When you can't get any further, I want you to hold that position. And again, now focus on where you can feel that tension, which is in the top half and the back of your leg. It's the hamstrings. After 10 seconds, if it's eased off a little bit, just press yourself forward just a little bit more and hold for another 10. And again, not the most comfortable of positions, but a particularly good stretch. There you go, and then you can release. Now to finish off, because obviously the same thing on the other side. So one leg, the other leg straight out to the front, one behind, you're going to bend slightly so that you can reach forward. Get down as far as you can. Then hold it for 10. Focus on where you're feeling that tension in the back part of your leg. When it's eased off a little bit after 10 seconds, if you can, just reach a little further forward. Final 10 seconds, and then you can release. There you go, well done. So, I hope you can see from what I've demonstrated today in my little intro to GAMS HIIT classes that I have covered off the bases that will improve your flexibility, your balance, and your strength, and your aerobic capability. My classes are quite progressive. I always make sure that there are changes on each class. I will never give you the same routine twice. If we do this in a gym environment, there will be music to make it a little bit more enjoyable. If you're doing this online with me, again, if you want to make it a little bit more, you can put some music in the background as well. I suggest something a little bit upbeat just to get you into the mood. If you have any questions, feel free to get in touch with me. O'Brien.gavin@rocketmail.com is the best email to get it on. Obviously, if you see me in the gym, just come and have a chat. Doesn't have to be just about the class, anything to do with health, fitness, exercise, and nutrition. I'm always happy to help because as a PT, I honestly say I absolutely love what I do, and being able to help people get fitter, well, just makes me happy. So, hope you've enjoyed the intro. There are 4 classes available, both on the way and hopefully coming soon to a gym near you. So for now, take care. Thanks again. Good to see you. Bye.